Here they come. The motors come alive, and the green flag is on the speedway. We are racing on Magic Mile. Into turn number 1 and out of the corner. Down the back straightaway, Mike Twist is in the tower. He'll be offering some insight into this race as they blast down that long straightaway, heading into the number 3 turn. It'll be Woody Pitkat leading the opening lap here as they come off the 4th corner. Will he lead it? At the line, we got a problem over in between 3 and 4. Cautions on the speedway.
A couple of cars turned around there. Can't quite see their car numbers. Everybody rolling in okay, but definitely a caution coming out here on lap 1.
Heading down pit road is car number 12, M.A. Rob Ricciardi. Taunton, Massachusetts youngster. Everybody breaking away. Slow down pit road is Anthony Nocella, number 92, and Richard Savory puts an interesting spin on this. Into the air goes the green flag, and here we go. It'll be Pitkat on the inside. Teddy Christopher and the Whelen Modified Tours represented here today, as they are from time to time with the Valenti Modified Racing Series. Early on in this series, Mike, that was a no-no. You didn't do that. But that's not the case here. We're happy to have these guns with us today because both TC and Woody Pitkat have made more than their fair share of appearances with this series. Pitkat's been a champion. Teddy's won his share of feature races.
As you talk about champions, if you look at the side of that Valenti Modified Racing Series hauler and you see the names of the champions which are posted on the side, wow, you have had some talented guys come through your series.
Serious drafting down the front straightaway as Goodale was right on the back end of Zane Ziner in the white 76 PA car, the Pennsylvania driver out of Bath, Pennsylvania, running in the 3rd spot. There goes Goody to the inside, looking to set things up downstairs. He gets it done, heading in the turn number 3. Your leaders are going to be nose to tail coming out of the corner here as they get set to complete another circuit around the speedway, 3 to be exact. And they are your leaders. Stephen Massey is running in the number 5 position.
Now front pack going down the front straightaway. A little more bump drafting. Pitkat right on the rear end of Teddy Christopher. Let's see if he tries to pull out and make a move there in turn 1. Doesn't this time, but he's setting it up for turn 2.
Good battle out of the number 3 two-turn down the back straightaway.
Now he's looking inside going into turn 3. Pitkat inside Christopher for the lead.
With an ear on race control here, and they're looking to see if Bobby McElveen, who heads up the spotter section here, looking for communication with the 25 Connecticut car, and that, of course, is Andrew Flannery. They're saying that he is leaking what appears to be water. That's the 25 Connecticut car for the newcomer of the series, Anthony Flannery out of East Hampton, Connecticut.
I believe he may have just gotten black flag there. So that John Spence Jr. down there holding up the black flag for one of the competitors. So that water will get you looked at.
Your top 5, nose to tail. Now we got a challenge from TC on the inside of Pitkat. Nice move by Teddy, darting to the inside to wrestle the spot away, and he's got it. But Pitkat hangs right with him out of the corner. Woody Pitkat is a very devoted Boston sports fan. You see a car slowing on the back straightaway. Pitkat, you'll find him at Patriot games. You'll find him at Celtic games, Bruin games. He was on Facebook the other night taking in a Red Sox game with his family.
Caution flag is out.
Green flag is in the air, and back to racing we go. Ziner's going to go to the inside, follow Woody Pitkat in the turn number 1, and we got ourselves a real good battle going between 1 and 2 and behind the second place car.
Deep in the field, Jeff Rocco there had a little trouble getting up to speed with that 85 car, held up the inside lane a little bit. That created a pack that, well, battle for the lead there.
Yeah, we do, and it's going to be a new leader coming around turn number 4. I was scanning back through beyond the 6th place position and watching a whole bunch of side-by-side racing on the back straightaway. Pitkat and Goody side-by-side heading into the turn. Right there, wheel to wheel, going into the corner. Good battle now as look at who's in there, and you knew that was going to happen. Here comes Steve Massey. Classy Steve Massey, as noted broadcaster Matt Buckler calls him.
Massey went from 2nd to 4th. Now the settling into fourth there. He was all over the place in the course of half a lap there, but like you said, classy Massey, very intelligent, well-spoken young man.
He certainly is, and it's almost like he went to the front, up the second spot to say, hey guys, just to let you know, I am here, and then settle back into the fourth spot. And he's just prepared to sit there and watch Ziner and the first and second place cars.
You don't get a trophy for leading lap 14, and I think he's smart enough to know that.
Look who also is coming along, and this is a success story. You'd love to see this kid win here today. This is car number 19, Dave Schneider. He took part in that special practice session back several weeks ago. I told you earlier how Woody Pitkat worked on drafting with Sammy Ramo. He did the same thing with David Schneider, and it was a big, big help to the kid. Real likable racing operation out of Long Island, New York. He's from Northport. He's now calling Riverhead Raceway or Speedway his home racetrack. Finances caused him to cut back his participation with this series. They have been regulars with this series, believe maybe over definitely the last 3, possibly 4 years. Great people.
Wow, what a battle for the lead. Pitkat holding it barely over Goodell right now. Going into turn 1, though, they're neck and neck. Pitkat by a nose.
While I was talking Schneider, the student, Woody, the teacher, the student was working well as Schneider was all over Massey down the front straightaway. Now look at this. Goes to the bottom. He utilized the draft on the back straightaway. And the kid from Northport, New York, moves into the 4th position. However, Stephen Massey's not going to give it up easy. Schneider in the drag race.
Now, I don't know much about Schneider there, but I'm impressed with what I'm seeing out there right now, as I'm sure many of the fans exposed to him for the first time are thinking as also.
Out of the turn, you still got a lot of dicing going on. Some great competition at the front of the pack. Here comes Massey now. Schneider did it the last lap. Stephen Massey's doing it this time as he goes to the inside of Ziner. Now out of turn number 4, they come to the stripe. It's still Goody leading it with now 32 laps to go. TC from the Wheeling Tour is in the 5th position with his car, the number 13. And 6th is Zane Ziner. 7th is Jeff Rocco in the number 85. Good competition here throughout as they go nose to tail through the first and second turn and lunge down the back straightaway.
Now, a little bit of breathing room for Goodale. Well, at least until I got that sentence out. Had a car length and a half. Now it's down to a half car length.
Another guy that struggled. When I say struggled, they put it all together here. Never expected to be here today, and that's car number 11. We talked about that during the heat race earlier this afternoon. I talked with him and his dad yesterday and again today, and I was impressed with the way they ran so well in the heat race, making their presence known. You know, we often refer to in the sport the shoestring budget. The Gernhardts, they have a shoestring budget, and car number 11 is right there in the pecking order as the field comes down the straightaway. Maiden voyage here on the Magic Mile as they are completing lap, 22 to go.
Massey pulling out there down low. He's making his move into turn 1.
So we'll keep an eye on that, Mike, to see how that plays out.
It didn't play out well.
It could. Schneider's right there with Massey down the back straightaway, trying to hook him up in a draft going into the turn. Does a nice job in that number 19. Schneider noted in the past when we would race up to Oxford Plains on 250 weekend, flying in from the island and landing on the airstrip in the back of the speedway.
Could walk on over to the track from there.
He did that 2 years in a row.
Only way to beat New York City traffic or to avoid a ferry.
You'd be picking up after the races, loading up, getting tech done, and you'd hear them leaving, and you'd hear this propeller wind up out there on the straightaway, and off they would go. They'd hire a pilot to fly the thing up here. He'd go off and take a nap while they were racing, and then they'd ring him up. He'd come back and fly them back down to Long Island. Look at this. Goody goes inside again. Lap after lap, keen competition here on the Magic Mile. And running in the 3rd spot is TC. Massey, Schneider got by Massey.
Now, if I was Eric Goodale or Woody Pitkat, I'd flip my mirror up right now because I would not want to see Teddy Christopher's front bumper.
Schneider is just amazing. He is impressive as impressive can be. This is another father-son low buck operation. No sponsors on the side of that car. Year after year, I introduce that as a family-owned race car because it is. There's nothing on the side of that race car. Look at the battle out of the number 2 turn as they work it down the back straightaway. TC is right there with Goody, and Schneider's going to the outside of Goodale. Here comes Steve Massey right up behind him going into turn number 3. Closely contested off the number 4 corner. Goodale, he's all by his onesies out here, but look what's going on behind him now as they come across the start-finish line. Massey right on the back end of Goodale going into the corner, and they settle it down into the bottom of the number 1 turn. A couple of cars have gone up a little high through the turn, but it's a freight train out of the number 2 turn, Mike.
Your car up. I couldn't imagine driving a Tour-type modified there.
Here comes Massey again, trying to close up to those leaders going into the turn here. He is showing that he is a contender here. Now, Matt Mead is on the bottom of car number 77, driving the number 77 car. The leaders go blowing by on the outside. Rocco has gotten by Schneider. Rocco has rolled into the 4th position. Schneider's in 5th spot. Zane Ziner is currently in the 6th position on the speedway as they come down with 12 laps to go. And behind Ziner, it is Sammy Ramo, and the 97 car is right there too. And you know, interestingly enough, if you will note, 3-time winner, point leader, Anthony Noseller, not a player today.
Gotta wonder if that first lap incident ended up having any damage on that 92 car, because you're right, he hasn't even poked his head out of the groundhog's hole there.
That's his brand new car that they purchased for this 2017 season from Eddie Flemke.
Ziner also running an Eddie Flemke Raceworks creation there today.
So, who's it going to be? Is it going to be TC? Is it going to be the guy they call Woody Pitkat? Is Goodale done with the front? Is Massey done with the front? There's going to be 10 laps to go here at the line. 10 to go.
Now I have an alternate theory here too. Schneider, maybe watch what Teddy Christopher did a little bit ago. Drop back to about 8th or 9th, save his tires, and then thinking of making a run there a little bit later. Oh, trouble in turn 2.
Yeah, and it was Schneider come right up behind Rocco. I don't know if Rocco, the back end, just came around on him or if there was contact over there in the turn. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air, powering up on the front straightaway. The men that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower, as Phil Smith would say. Slow at the back end of the field. Mike Willis crawling down the front straightaway. At the front of the pack, they're going to go nose to tail, although a side-by-side battle. Massey gets by. Goodale goes to 3rd. Keep an eye on the black number 13. See if he's got something for the front here in the closing stages. Look at the dicing going on behind him.
Have my eye on the 83 car, slow in turn 2 here. Not sure if that's going to bring out a caution or if he'll be able to get safely off the track.
John Spence is looking out that way, although the car has picked up its momentum, and it looks like Mike is going to be leading the speedway. Meanwhile, the race continues on with 9 circuits remaining. Less than that now. Down the back straightaway. It is still Ted Christopher, Woody Pitkat, Stephen Massey, Zane Ziner, and look who is in the 5th position here, Mike Twist. Coming alive here in the late stages. That is Anthony Nosella in car number 92.
Well, maybe he's big picture racing now, and with a little bit of experience and learning winning. Oh, trouble in turn 1. Hard hit down in turn 1.
And John Spence fast on the caution light down there, and we do have a car down in the number 1 corner.
8 to go, and it's Pitkat who gets the point.
He does. He wound it up tighter coming off the corner, and he's got himself the 52 car in the lead position. But look at Ziner. Look at how things have played out here on the restart. Ziner's going after the lead now. Zane Ziner putting that 76 PA car right on the rear bumper. But they pick it up on the back straightaway. Look at this out of the corner. Is that Schneider to the high side again? Out of the corner, it's still Ted Christopher in the 3rd spot. It was Schneider. Schneider's giving Massey fits down the front straightaway.
And Ted Christopher tried to make a third groove there in turn 4 a minute ago. Everybody's out now to win. 7 laps to go. They know it's go time.
Here comes Etheridge, we just spoke of. Dave Etheridge to the outside of Massey. As they go side by side, here comes Nocella in the 92. The Valenti Modified Racing Series came here to shine, and here come the modifieds of the VMRS down the front straightaway with 6 laps to go.
Meanwhile, out front, Woody Pitkat leading for a lap and a half. I think that's the first time he's led that long uninterrupted all afternoon.
Nose to tail out of the number 2 turn down the chute. Schneider is running in the position. What a surprise. We thought he was gone. He's right there in 3rd spot. Here comes Stephen Massey. He goes to the inside of Nocella. Massey's going to come right up behind the number 34 of Dave Etheridge as they get on the throttle coming down the chute. Nose to tail here. John Spence shows them 5 to go. Teddy goes to the inside for the lead at the 5 to go indicator from the flagman. Out here on the front straightaway. TC's got the top spot. Zeiner's going to go to the inside out of the number 2 turn. Down the back straightaway. Schneider's going to go to the outside of Zeiner. Good battle there for the number 3 spot, but here comes Massey now. He invites himself to the party. And Massey's right there, wheel to wheel, going in to turn number 3. We got a shootout here. The leaders 1-2, but boy, a lot of activity going on right behind them, Mike Twist.
Yes, and some heavy smoke from the 69 and Jimmy Dolan as well. Keep an eye on that. Christopher leading into turn 1. An angry pack of race cars behind him on his tail.
Look at Steve Massey on the bottom through the apex of 1 and 2. He is battling for the 3rd spot. Steals it from Schneider on the chute. Down the back straightaway they go. Schneider is in the 4th position. Etheridge in the 5th spot, trying to get a top 5 respectable finish here this afternoon on the Magic Mile. At the line, there'll be 3 laps to go.
Trouble
This
in
one,
turn 3.
we got a caution on the speedway. Yellow is out. We got a car up against the concrete in turn number 3. Green flag is in the air, and here we go for the finish. Schneider is right on. TC drafting as Woody Pitkat showed him how to do 4 weeks ago.
Those top 5 cars couldn't get any closer to get it going into turn 1. Didn't hit, didn't touch, but geez, you couldn't slide a sheet of paper between any of them.
Down the back straightaway, it's Woody Pitkat and Stephen Massey. Massey's on the outside. We're going right down to the wire with this one, folks. Schneider's on the bottom of Zeiner. Here they come off turn number 4. Ramping it up down the front straightaway here on the Magic Mile. And Massey is right on the bumper of the number 52 car going in.
Pitkat having the advantage right now, but that also gives Massey a chance to study him and see where he's good and where he's bad. Potentially coming up with a plan here for the last 2.5 laps, maybe get by that 52 car.
Ted Christopher's watching those 2 cars running 1-2 into the bottom of turn number 3. Zeiner's watching Christopher in car number 76 as they work off the turn. Now they're separating from the next car in the running order. And that's going to be Flannery in car number 25. And then you've got Gernhardt in the 11 right there with Flannery as they head into turn number 1. The battle rages on out of turn number 2 over the final 2 laps. Down the back straightaway, it's Stephen Massey atop the field, heading into turn number 3. Here comes Teddy Christopher to the bottom. A side-by-side battle for the number 2 position as they come off the number 4 corner. Who's going to have that 2nd position as they cross the line? Who's going to have the lead? The white flag is in the air as Massey gets passed by Woody Pitkat. It's showdown time here. This is what it's all about. The Valenti Modified Racing Series. It's maiden voyage here. Out of the turn, it'll be Massey. He is with the Valenti Modified Racing Series. He's the hope for the VMRS. The Wheeling guys out there battling it out here in this very special historic event. The checkered flag. John Spence has got 2 of them waiting on the field. The Sunoco checkers are waving. Here they come to the line. To the inside, it'll be TC, and it'll be Pitkat winning it. The former VMRS champion nails down the victory, his first of the season here at the Magic Mile.
Here he comes. Here's your winner, Woody Pitkat.